Hey, it's Windjammer, and I'm in Cheaha State Park in Alabama. That is the Cheaha Trailhead. So I'm about to start what should be a 3-day backpacking trip, and I'm actually doing two kind of separate loops I've done in the past, kind of putting them all together, and obviously starting at Cave Creek, which is the Cheaha Trailhead. So it's about 11 o'clock, and I have a campsite in mind, but it's about 11 to 12 miles away. So time to get started. All right, grab my pack and hit the trail. Here's a little map right at the trailhead to kind of give you an idea of the plan. So I am here at the Cheaha Trailhead. Going to take Cave Creek down to Nubbin Creek. Right here to Odum Scout. Just for a second, all the way up this green line past Turnip Seed to hopefully going to camp somewhere right about in here. I think that's where that campsite is. And then in the morning, get up, finish this loop down to Adams Gap, then get on the Pinhoti and take the Pinhoti all the way McDill Point back up to the car. So probably about 30 miles in 3 days, 2 nights. Okay, I've reached my first intersection. Sign, oh, there's a sign right here. That says to the Pinhoti. That way. But I'm going this way, left. And this is the Nubbin Creek Trail. I'm actually going to be hiking a lot of pieces of trails here. Cave Creek to Nubbin Creek, a piece of Odum Scout, Chinnabee Silent, Skyway, and then the biggest portion is the Pinhoti from Adams Gap all the way back to Cheaha State Park, which is about a 9.5, 10-mile section. But lots of little pieces of trail I'm linking together to make this thing work. But like I said, all that may sound kind of confusing right now, but I will always show the map because I'm a big fan of maps. That's a fact. Well, the Nubbin Creek Trail, I might be about to jinx myself. Hopefully not. But man, it's been smooth sailing. It's been a really easy, just flying along this trail. So big difference from the beginning of Cave Creek where I was dodging trees and rocks real bad. So this has been great. Moving right along in a little pine forest. And I'm coming up on 2 spots that could be of interest. I don't really know for sure. There's a mountain peak. Remember, these are the very southern Appalachians, so I use mountain loosely. Little Caney Head. And then there's another section called Parker High Point, which I believe is supposed to have a pretty cool overlook there. So I will be there soon and we'll check it out. I'm on the section of the map that's listed as Parker High Point, but there's definitely not an overlook here. Maybe a little further down the path, there is a pretty big climb coming up the Nubbin Creek Trail up to this point, and I'm definitely up high along a pretty beat up ridge. Lots of trees down like this one, and this is the trail behind me. Let's see if you can, yeah, over those 2 trees. So a lot of work on this trail, but moving right along. Oh, one thing to note, if you use the All Trails app like I do, and you're recording your path from the Nubbin Creek to the Odum Scout Trail, it does not follow what All Trails says is the trail, not even remotely. So you get a lot of beeps. Sorry, I'm hurdling trees. you get a lot of beeps saying you're off route, you're not off route. There's a sign that says to Odum Scout, and once you start heading down that path, you'll get them. Yeah, you're off route, but just keep chugging along because you're heading in the right direction. But good grief. This is I don't know if you can see just how many trees are down along this path. Looks like most of them are just going to be little Usain Bolt hurdles. Wait, he doesn't hurdle. I don't know any hurdlers, but it shouldn't be actually hard, but just, you know, bouncing up and over. Should be to Odum Scout soon, and then we'll be close to the old Pinchy Sky Loop, which I think that's the first time I mentioned the Pinchy Sky. But I will certainly talk more about that. It's a really popular loop out here. And all right, well, I'm gonna get my start gun out, get ready to start hurling. Break a leg out here. Okay, I've reached the junction of the Odum Scout Trail. I know the sun's bright, but if that says the Pinhoti Trail is to the right, which that's where I'm heading, but I'm actually gonna cross over the Pinhoti and onto the Chinnabee Silent, not stop on the Pinhoti. That'll be for tomorrow because my whole loop's a big old figure 8. Below that it says Cheaha Falls Trailhead, and that's down Odum Scout. I've never actually been down that way. I've seen pictures. It looks beautiful, awesome waterfall. But that is not for today. But so down this trail we go. I don't believe I'm too far away from the big junction where the Odum Scout crosses the Pinhoti and turns into the Chinnabee Silent. But, next stop, that junction. All right, I've made it to the big intersection, which is also a campground, a large campground. There's multiple spots. I think I've seen like 4 fire rings. So definitely a good spot to camp if you want to. And I actually went and checked. There's a water source just 20 yards down the Pinhoti that is flowing fairly well. So the reason I bring that up is because this section of the Pinhoti, which I'm actually not going to be on until tomorrow, but from Adams Gap to Cheaha State Park is tough when you're trying to find water. So I brought a bag, a 3-liter bag to fill up along the Skyway loop tomorrow to carry, but I don't think that's gonna be necessary, so that's a plus because water is heavy. So this though is also the where I will join the Pinchy Sky Loop, which I mentioned before. That's a big popular loop. It's about 19 miles. On all trails it's listed as the Skyway loop, and it says it's like 17 point something, but I did it last year and I came out with 19 miles. The 2 places to really start are either Adams Gap and come off the Pinhoti. The reason it's called the Pinchy Sky is the Pinhoti, Chinnabee Silent, and then the Skyway loop makes the loop, Skyway Trail. I'm going to be going down the Chinnabee. Tomorrow I'll get on the Skyway, and then I'll come right back up the Pinhoti. The Pinhoti goes all the way to Cheaha State Park, so I'll come right through this section again and reload on the water over there. So right now it's down Chinnabee, really big decline, and there's Turnip Seed Campground at the bottom. So when I did this loop, it was on a weekend, and it was really popular. There was people all over the campground, Cheaha Falls, Devil's Den, those people everywhere. I'm expecting a very different experience on this Monday in early March. Haven't seen anybody yet today, and there's a possibility I might not see anybody this entire trip, which is cool for this section that's really popular. So anyway, down the Chinnabee Silent to Turnip Seed. Turnip Seed is also another place to start the Skyway loop if you wanted to. You can start from the Turnip Seed campground and loop that way, or Adams Gap and loop, you know, either way you want. It's a loop. It can go clockwise. or counterclockwise. I should probably keep walking. Very steep and very rocky descent for me, but I'm showing this to point out, if you come do just the Pinhoti Sky Loop, which like I said is really popular and it's a really fun little, you can do it in a day, I mean you know, an overnight or even 2 nights if you want. But if you start at Adams Gap and you go clockwise, you're gonna have to come up this. But if you go counterclockwise, you're gonna have to climb the Stairway of Heaven. So either way, you're gonna have to do a bit of climbing. But this is extremely steep, but it's probably not actually as bad as the Stairway of Heaven, which isn't awful either. Everything goes to plan. I'll be climbing that tomorrow. Obviously, I'll announce, this is the Stairway of Heaven. We're about to get climbing. But, it's not actually that bad. I've done it a few times already. But anyway, this is really steep. I'll be at Turnip Seed Campground soon. Here's a portion of Turnip Seed Campground. There's a picnic table up there, posts, a bunch of campsites, real open. And this is a really good spot to kick off a day hike if you're heading down to Cheaha Falls and Devil's Den. Road's just right over those trees. All right, well, I'm through Turnip Seed Campground. I didn't show much because there were a few people camping there, not many, definitely not like last time. Here's a sign, roads in front of me. It's huge, there's all kinds of camping down in there. Parking lot right here to my left. You see there's 3 cars there in the U-Haul. And then the Chinnabee Silent trail continues across the road. So that sign that I was showing also said 1 mile away from Cheaha Falls. It's a cool little area. It's not as cool as Devil's Den, which I will make it right up to. But then I'll camp at that spot I've been hoping to get to. 9 miles in so far today. Probably have about 2.5 to go, maybe 3. So keep on trucking along. All right, do you hear that sound? That's the sound of a waterfall. This is Cheaha Falls, and it doesn't look like anyone else is here but me. Let's get you over this little gorge. Okay, I gotta jump, so shaky camera in now. All right. I started to do a countdown, then I just jumped. Got it straight through there. And see if I can get a good view behind me. These are the Cheaha Falls. Probably a really sweet little swimming area. I guess I can go ahead and cross right here. Keep my feet dry. The trail picks up right over that way. Yeah, cool little area. For sure. Little shelter this just up from the Cheaha Falls area. And it's got a little picnic table. And it's got a pretty good view looking out. It's kind of southeast, maybe a little more south, but still probably a good sunrise can be seen from this shelter. But I don't think I'm gonna stay. I actually thought about it, but my campground is probably about another mile away that I won't, and I'm gonna go ahead and make a push for that. Even though it would be cool just to curl up and not have to pitch a tent or anything and just sleep kind of in the open. But anyway, I'm gonna utilize that bench for just a quick moment. My feet are not happy with me. Okay, well, sit on that bench for a little bit, rest my feet, ate some peach rings, quality stuff. But while I was there, and I obviously decided not to stay at the shelter, which I know I really probably wasn't gonna do that. I realized something, or I ran into an issue, I guess you'd say, that I've never crossed before. I always wear these Prana pants, great ventilation, stretch Zion is what they are. It's got a bunch of them. And yeah, you can roll them up on warm days. Great all around hiking pant. And I'm thinking about transitioning to shorts, but I kind of look goofy in shorts. I don't know what it is. That's a sad story. But anyway, I didn't realize it until I took my pack off. My sides, these pants were really digging in. Kind of hurt. I left little marks. Well, let's be honest. I don't think it was the pants' fault. Maybe I need to put the old pecho rings down and walk more. Don't know how I feel about that. I might be forced to switch to shorts just for the more of the elastic band than anything. Anyway, enough of that nonsense. It's almost 4. It's like 4:45. And sun still sets kind of early, so I gotta get on over to camp and set up quickly. And I don't think I'm far though. Next stop camp. Looks really pretty. Still got a good bit of sun, but better get going. That's pretty neat though. This is the campsite I was hoping to get to. Sleep with that water rolling next to me. You can see my tent there. Got it all set up. There's a fire ring with little stones to kind of made like chairs. And yeah, not a whole lot of sun left, and I'm pretty tired. I hiked almost 12 miles to get to this spot, so I'm gonna go down. Here, let's walk you down there. And while I still got a little bit of sunlight, I'm going to get the map I have, which is not a great map, and show you what I did today and what the plan is for tomorrow. So I'm gonna break that out and then start doing the dinner, see if I can find firewood, all that kind of jazz. So all right, it's been a great day in the Cheaha Wilds. Okay, this is not a National Geographic map. This is something I got online, but it'll at least show my route, right? So I started up here at the Cheaha Trailhead, took the Cave Creek Trail down to a little bit of Nubbin Creek, Odum Scout, and that's when I got on the Chinnabee. And I've taken that past the waterfalls to about right here at this section there. So, and this, as I was talking about the Pinhoti Sky Loop, when I did it from Adams Gap. So that's the Pinhoti, the Chinnabee, and the Skyway trail make the Pinhoti Sky Loop, which is roughly 19 miles. So like I said, I've kind of made a figure 8 where I've added this loop in to this loop. So I'm camping right here. Plans to get up in the morning. Devil's Den is just right by me, and it is a really cool area. Skyway, I think they named that Skyway to kind of give a little pizzazz to it, because the Pinhoti has all the views, the Chinnabee has the water features, the Skyway is a 6-mile walk through the woods. It's really not, it's a peaceful walk, it's nice, but there's just really not much to it. So maybe let's call it Skyway, and wow, let's hike that trail. That sounds neat, but there's not much to it. Anyway, so I'm gonna hike that. Best case scenario is to get on the Pinhoti. Stairway of Heaven's about right here, and that's when you start getting views all the way to the end. McDill Point is awesome. I would love to get there to camp, but that'll probably be like a 15-16 mile hike to get there. You know, it's doable, so we'll see. But this great campsites with views all through here. If you want a day hike, you want views, park at Cheaha, go down to McDill Point and back, or even do this little loop. It's like 8 miles or so. That's an awesome day hike. Or you can even park at Turnipseed if you want waterfalls and hike this Chinnabee Silent through Devil's Den and come back. So that looks like it's a little longer, probably a little over 10 miles to do the whole trip from Turnipseed back. But anyway, those are 2 great day hikes. And yeah, that's the trip. Well, it's dark now, and I have my fire going pretty well. So, and I still got plenty of bigger logs to burn. It's I think it's probably about 6:45, maybe close to 7. As you can see, there's just a little bit of blue left in the sky, not very much. But yeah, the fire lit up great tonight. There's so much pine straw on the ground, you know, you can ball that stuff up and it's just really excellent tinder. So that worked out really well. I think that might be it for night 1. I'm gonna stay here and hang out by the fire for quite a while. Maybe do a little riding, and then call it an early night. So this will be the end of day 1. I'll see you in the morning. Good morning, and welcome to day 2. It's cold, so I am just made my little smoothie, and I'm gonna have breakfast in bed. So pretty good. It is 6:50. I'm gonna drink this peach passion smoothie and then get geared up. So I'll be packed up and on the trail here soon. Devil's Den is just right down the trail a little bit, and that's gonna be a cool thing to see. So good morning. Well, it's just before 8 o'clock in the morning, and I am packed up and on the trail, walking along this little creek, pretty close to the Devil's Den area. And since I was able to get up, get a good breakfast, and get on the trail early, I'm going to shoot for McDill Point for my campground. It's going to make for a long day. I think it's probably going to be about 16 miles or so, but the campsite will be absolutely worth it if I can make it there, and I should. So, pretty close to Devil's Den. Well, this is the start of Devil's Den. And what it's going to be is a bunch of those little cascades. And kind of pan around, you can see it kind of falls again right past those trees. And it gets a little more dramatic the further you go along. There's a bigger one. There's a big one down that way a little bit. So this is the Devil's Den area. little bridge of sorts. Of sorts. All right, I found the Skyway Trail. That little post up there says Skyway Trail, and Adams Gap 8 miles away. Last time I came through here, actually, let me spin this around. I had to cross the water there, and it doesn't look like much, but it's, for me, almost to my knees. So I didn't want to get my feet wet this time, so I went down a ways, bushwhacked up. I found a way to kind of rock hop over, and I got dry feet. So that is a plus on this. I had to think about the date. Tuesday morning. So time to hit this trail. I think if I remember right, there's a little bit of a climb to start out, and then it's pretty breezy the whole way, except for there is a little section where the navigation gets kind of wonky. I remember last time I did this loop, I knew the trail was up somewhere, so I just kind of headed in that general direction and bushwhacked, and it wasn't very fun, but obviously made it to the trail. This time I'd like to stay on the trail, so I know when that spot comes, and maybe this time I'll do a little better. All right. Okay, I'm probably about halfway down the Skyway Trail. There's a campsite right over there. It's pretty nice. This is where I got turned around last time and had a, bushwhack up through there because the trail kind of makes this kind of loop around. But this time, I see that there's actually a few blazes right here saying, hey, cross right here. And there's the trail on the other side. When I came through here last time, it was a little deeper into spring. And, it was much more grown over, and I just never saw that. So try not to get my feet wet with a shaky, oh gosh, this is sketchy. A little log walking. That's very cute though. Get on over this lure. No, that wasn't bad. Wasn't bad at all. Yeah, so no confusion for me today. Keep on heading down this trail. This might be the only little clip I make on the Skyway Trail from here on out. Like I said, I'm a little over halfway through the 6 miles. But I'm just going to show that this whole trail, as you can see behind me and all, it's just walking through the hardwoods. Not really any views, not really any water features anyway. There's a little creek we passed, but not much. But that being said, this is the second time I've hiked down it, and getting the same vibes I got the first time. That's just a really peaceful trail. I don't know if the way the light comes through the trees, the fact that the trail itself is just kind of flowing and breezy. I don't know. I was thinking about it. I think maybe even a little more than that is a slight touch of nostalgia. I think it reminds me of a little home I grew up in Hatley, Mississippi. We had 17 acres, but those acres touched into, cotton fields and more woods and stuff like that. So did a lot of exploring through there, and it's kind of like this. So maybe that's what it's about. I don't know. But I like the Skyway Trail. It's nice. Nothing amazing, but it's a good little hike. Well, I've made it up to Adams Gap, but it's already about 1:45 and a break is in order. I've been getting beat up out here. But here's a little map on the wall here to show you kind of what's going on. All right, I started way up here at Cheaha. Came down, around, that's where I camped. And I've done all this today up to right here where I'm at Adams Gap. And now it's all Pinhoti, all the way back up to Cheaha Trailhead. So they got some actually mileage listed here. I'm 6 miles from where the Chinnabee Silent and the Odum trails cross. That's where I filmed some yesterday, right here. I'm 12 miles back to where I'm parked. So as you can see, McDill Point is here. I just don't know if I'm gonna make it all that way because I still have the Stairway to Heaven to climb. But the road's right up the trail here. And I'm gonna take a seat, kick my boots off for a second, and take me a pretty good break, and eat a little bit. So I might be feeling a lot better here soon. But yeah, we'll see. The end of Skyway, kind of like the last 1.5, 2 miles, got pretty scenic. And you get down in a ravine where there's a little creek flowing through, and it's pretty. You're walking along that. But yeah, then I climbed out, and the Pinhoti is going to look a lot like what I'm walking right now, especially till I get up on the climb the stairway and get up to the high ridge. That's where all the views will be from then right on all the way to the end. Some pretty cool stuff. So I'm still going to try to make it to McDill Point, but we might be coming up short. We'll see. All right, break time for Johnny. Okay, you know you're on the Pinhoti. I took a long break, probably 25-30 minutes down at Adams Gap. Took the shoes off, bandaged up a couple spots, ate some candy. That made you feel better, but nothing like views to really psych you up. I hope that translates well from camera. It's quite beautiful. And I'm not even very far up the Pinhoti. So, yeah, the real views start, like I've mentioned before, the Stairway to Heaven. Once you climb up that bugger, that's when the views start really kicking. But clearly they're all around. So Pinhoti is a fantastic trail. And also, I'm only doing 12 miles of this little section, if it's even quite 12 miles, from Adams Gap to the Cheaha Trailhead. But the Pinhoti actually goes like 340, 350 miles through Alabama and into Georgia. So it's a long distance hike, but certainly a pretty one. Maybe one day I'll get to do the whole thing. Anyway, I gotta hop a tree. Well, there's something about the Cheaha Wilderness. Kicks my tail, man. This is my 4th trip out here. And the trip's been good. It sure as heck hasn't been easy. Right now, I slept on my neck weird. And if something attacks me from the right, I'm gone. Just be like, that's all I got. My feet are still hurting, even though I did a little medical to them. They're definitely still hurting. And when I was in the Rocky Mountains last year, I brought some paste with me. If you haven't seen that video, go watch it. And the butt paste type stuff. That stuff was awesome. And I don't just bring that up out of the blue right now. It's about 1:30, maybe a little after, and I'm no way gonna make McDill Point today. It'd be dark before I got there. My pace is a little slow, and I still gotta do the big climb, so that's not gonna happen. But I'm gonna make sure to find a campsite with a cool overview look out place. On and on we go. That was a wink. I'm wearing glasses, so you didn't see it. Well, I call this the gateway, or that's too many ways, the gates to the stairway of heaven. So this is where it begins. You see all these rocks. It's just gonna get more and more rocks, climbing up and up and up through these rocks. I'll film more along the way. And I realized past times I've done this, I started from Adams Gap and I'd only walked about 4 miles. So much different story doing 12 miles yesterday. I think I'm already at 12, maybe 13 miles today. Gonna be a doozy. Well, doozy, he says. Anyway, no sense waiting around. Alright, let's go. We're doing it. We're actually doing it. Oh, man. Oh, slogging up this thing. Pinhoti's blade's blue. That's what that's all about. Oh. Educational moment. Golly, did I butcher that? I tried to do an accent, I think, and it kind of came out weird. Educational moment. When you're on a blaze trail and you see 2 blazes and one's off to one of the other sides, that means the trail is taking a non-intuitive turn. In this case, to the right, which it does. This time of year is pretty easy, but yeah, that can really be helpful when there's a lot of foliage around. Up, 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 up. We're heading way up there, where the sky joins the ground. So slowly, yet so surely, we are getting closer. Oh, it's tough to climb. And you see the rocks there? I don't know if they look closer to you, but they look closer to me. Keep grinding. I don't know what's up with my feet. Just sitting there first walk in the woods. I should know better. Honestly, they're kind of being jerks. Come on, guys. Ooh. Let's look out here. Once we get to the top, there's an awesome lookout, and even a chair that has this indention that's almost like a throne. You best bet Windjammer is going to be taking a rest there. That's the trail. You can see the blue blazes. Whew. I was out of my mind thinking I'd go all the way to McDill Point today. It's crazy talk. Even if you're feeling good, this type of terrain, that's gonna slow you down. Whew. But McDill Point was like 18 miles anyway. For some reason I thought it was 16. Phew. Very, very close now. All right, that's the last little bit right there. So I've basically climbed to the top. I'm gonna spin it around though, because and there it is. Beautiful overlook. Few trees, but man. It's time for me to knock out that last little piece and take a break. Well, I'm sitting at the top of the Stairway to Heaven. Totally gassed. But at least I don't have a whole lot of climbing to do the rest of the trip, actually. So, better be getting up and moving on, try to make my way and find a campsite soon. But if you are like me, I could really use a musical interlude right now. All right, it's about 5:10. I ended up hiking about 16 miles today. But it's not only the mileage. From where I started to where I'm at now, the elevation gain was pretty intense. But I'm here now. Right here is a nice, flat, grassy little spot that I'm gonna put my tent on. About to set that up. And then behind me, where those kind of rocks are, there's a little trail that goes up to a overlook. So get camp set up and then maybe we'll catch that sunset, which is gonna be soon. Well, camp is set up, and I have to say I think this qualifies as back-to-back nights of very quality camping. As you can see, the sun back there is starting to set. I'm gonna get over and see if I can find a good look from this overlook and see how it looks. There she goes. The outlook wasn't actually really all that great, but still beautiful. And I think I'm gonna head back to camp. I still haven't eaten, so I'm make that happen and maybe go to bed early. So this will be the end of day 2. Good morning. Welcome to day 3. Great night sleeping last night. I slept like a baby. And but I did forget, or I did remember that I forgot to break the map out. So I'm gonna bring you inside the little shelter and show you the map, what I did yesterday and the little bit we have left today. And then it's time to pack up and hit the trail. Okay. Alright, here's my little map. And again, we started from here, went down, over, camped around the Devil's Den area. Well, yesterday, I got up, finished Chinnabee Silent, did the whole Skyway loop, and then jumped on the Pinhoti and started heading up. And I made it about, I'm probably somewhere about right here. So I'm not exactly sure, but in this area. So McDill Point's here. I probably have about 5.5 miles maybe to get back to the trailhead. Yesterday I did about 15-16 miles and a lot of climbing from where I started way down low at Devil's Den to where I am now. That was a long, busy day. So, but it was a good day, great night, and time to wrap this dude up. So I'm gonna get packed up and get on the trail. Here's some of those good views from the Pinhoti Trail. That's pretty awesome. This is a really interesting, yet I'm assuming tragic, little mark out here in the Cheaha Wilderness. This is the wreckage of a plane crash. I'm on the little spur, the McDill Point spur, and I don't know the history of it. I'm sure you can Google McDill Point plane crash and figure out all about it. Maybe I should do that later. But yeah, pretty wild to see out here. Obviously, like I said, I'm assuming probably fairly tragic. But anyway, McDill Point is right up there. Let's go check it out. All right, saving the best for last. This is McDill Point. Bear with me. Gotta take this a little slow, don't want to fall. There it is. That is pretty freaking stellar. I'm gonna make my way down to that rock and get a view looking out. Coming up. Now we're talking. That's really, really cool. It's amazing to think this is Alabama. Look at all those mountains out there. Just forest for days. Forest for days. Ooh. Alright, well, I'm going to take a little mini rest here, not too long, because I'm hungry and I want to get real food. So, I'm going to try to rush on back to the car. So. quick rest, back on the trail. Ooh. Whew. Walking along this ridge, the hits just keep coming. This is your view to my left as I'm walking down the trail. Consistent. Pretty cool. I think I'm probably about 2 miles away from the car, roughly. Hopefully, it'd be cool if it was shorter. But some rough stuff right through here. I bet wind. It gets real windy up here. You see some of those snaps. But wind tears through here pretty often. Anyway, keep checking out the views. Keep walking the trail. Well, I just crossed over the summit of, or the top of Hernandez Peak. And that is the last bit of a climb I have for this trip. So maybe a little over a mile left, but it's all gonna be downhill. And glad to have that one behind me. It really wasn't that bad, but you know, when you're tired and hungry, any little climbing is whatever. So downhill. Okay, a couple of cool things here. You can see these mountain ridges that I've been going along for 2 days now, just up and down, up and down. Pretty neat to be able to look back and see just how far you've come. And the other cool thing is where I'm at right now is a little plaque for the Pinhoti Trail, which like I said kind of earlier in the video, starts at Flag Mountain in Alabama. It goes through Georgia. I don't know the exact mileage. I think it's like 340, something like that. This map that it has here picks up at Cheaha State Park, which is right where I'm at. And so I have the little camera there. But the cool thing about it is you can start in Flag Mountain and hike all the way up. This is the Pinhoti to the Benton McKay Trail. That trail will connect to the Appalachian Trail at Springer Mountain, which obviously everybody knows that one. And that trail goes all the way up to Mount Katahdin in Maine. So you could go from Alabama to Maine on these trails. And actually, I think there's a way to connect the Florida Trail to it as well. You go from Florida to Maine, but pretty cool. I'm almost done. I think my next stop is probably going to actually be the car. The Pinhoti Trail. All right. As you can see coming up, I am going through the arches back into the parking lot. So that is a wrap on the Cheaha figure eight. Clocked in at 32 miles. Normally this would be the spot where I say I'm going to get a burger or a pizza, which I'm absolutely going to do. But first, I'm going over to the Cheaha State Park to go up to the highest point in Alabama and knock off my 4th state high point. So I've been here numerous times and I haven't made the trip over there. I'm doing it today. So good trip. Definitely had some challenges, but it's always nice to be out there. Cheers.